you've seen the title, the iPhone 15 Pro. It's boring, but that's a good thing. So let me get into it before I trigger some of you fanboys and get some of you people mad at me, to stipulate that I am recording this on the iPhone 15 Pro. I use it as my tool every day. So a little background behind my use. I went from somebody who was using an iPhone pretty much all of my life, as my primary device from the beginning of, first iPhone coming out. So the last 17 years, iPhone was my primary device. I had the iPhone 4S, then the 6, the 6S Plus, the 10, the 11 Pro Max, 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro, 14 Pro Max, and 15 Pro. But in the last few years, I've shifted over to appreciating and using multiple Android devices alongside my iPhone. And most recently, I have been using the OnePlus 12 and the OnePlus Watch 2 as my primary device. And my Apple iPhone has become my tool for recording content because I use a MacBook for editing. It's the most efficient way for me, and some of the applications that I use are only available on those products. Now, the iPhone 15 Pro, it's boring, but why is that a good thing? When you're looking for a device that does specific things really well and doesn't have a bunch of extra other stuff, if you want something that makes calls, has really good call quality, the microphones are really good, you're hearing them right now, takes good video, takes good photos, is reliable. You won't have to learn a new device when you're transitioning between phones if it's been 3, 4, 5 years apart. Because the operating system doesn't change substantially, those are good aspects of it. When you are someone who wants more than that, maybe you want super fast charging, maybe you want a desktop mode, maybe you want custom control over your cameras without having to download another app, maybe you want to not have to pay for the top end phone in order to get some of these features, then you start looking into Android devices. But I believe for those people who the iPhone suits their needs, it is perfect for those, and that is Apple's focus. And for me as a user, when I want a device where I know that I'm going to be able to take videos when I'm out and about, and I know that it's going to reliably sync back up to my MacBook, and I'm going to have those photos and those videos to work on when I get home. And I'm not going to have to worry about, okay, did Google's Photos app sync up to my Windows computer? Did the videos sync up, or did it take hours, or were their servers bogged down? Things like that. I have not had that experience. For the reliability, the simplicity, and the boringness, the iPhone 15 Pro is perfect at what it does. It is not the perfect phone. I've yet to find one of those, but for the appeal, for the creator, for the musician, for the person who is a family man who wants to just be able to easily share his content, I feel like the ability to know that other users aren't going to be affected by some of the things. I do use Google Photos to back up my content, and I have shared albums in there, but I have had some issues where certain bugs cause some problems. Now it's not like there's not any bugs on the iPhone side, not at all. It's not the perfect device. I will say that over and over again. But I truly believe for the market that Apple intends on using it, it is perfect for those users. There are other devices that do that really well, and I will be covering those on this channel as well. I have the Nothing Phone 2A, which I believe for a $349 device does things really well, but the sacrifices of they don't have the best cameras. They don't have the best video recording. They don't have the best of those things that you know are going to be future-proof down the road, that you're going to have high-resolution video to play back. They don't have the transfer speeds of the data over the USB port. They don't have the wireless charging. Now it's limited. But they don't have the access to the accessories, where that's also Apple's advantage and Samsung's advantage as well. But for the iPhone being an iPhone, and I believe for what Apple markets it to be, They've done a great job at that, and that's why I continue to carry an iPhone. Apart from another reason is cellular use. So up until I picked up this phone, other Android devices that I used, that is the OnePlus 12, when you wanted to move between carriers, you'd have to restart the device. So if my main SIM was T-Mobile, but then I wanted to use US Mobile or Visible or another carrier as data and be able to switch between them, the device would have to restart. Also, it would load in those carrier apps sometimes. So you could have, if you wanted to use Visible, Verizon side, T-Mobile, and maybe an AT&T, you'd have all those apps on your device because as soon as you put in the SIM, it would load it in. Now, more recently, that's gone away. But in order to manage those things, you still had to have theirs. So for me, the fact that the last 4 or 5 years with dual SIM stuff, you've been able to simply just go into the settings and toggle to switch between and had it switch over. As somebody who likes to test out the different carriers, likes to see what's best when traveling, likes to see if things have changed over time. As someone who's looking to switch carriers, is going to be moving away from T-Mobile, the carrier integration that's there, the accessory integration that's there, and the fact that it just does things well without extra stuff on top, without carriers controlling extra stuff, without knowing, okay, is my OEM going to have one gallery app and then Google's app? So I think that that is why, for me, I use this device. Let me know down below if you're an iPhone user, why you use it, what do you think of the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the video, give it thumbs up. Peace and love. See you in the next video. The iPhone's boring, but it's a good thing.